الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته ومنتهى علمه وجميع ما شاء وخلق وذرع وبرع عالم الغيب وشهادة الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون أما بعد الحمد لله. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we thank Him for allowing us to reach this far in Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, this is the last Jumu'ah. This is the last Jumu'ah in Ramadan. Next time Jumu'ah comes around, it will be the month of Shawwal. This is it. At the end. Today is the 27th of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, last night, the night of the 26th, Laylatul Jumu'ah, the night of Jumu'ah. You know, the night precedes the day in Islam. The new day starts at Maghrib. Last night, we sealed the Quran. Alhamdulillah. We finished the Quran. Alhamdulillah, a few days before that, we launched our fundraiser to renovate a portion of our property here so that we can have living quarters for our Hafiz, our teacher of Quran that will be coming here, inshallah, within the next few months. Alhamdulillah, we've raised approximately $1,000 so far. We have about 6,000 and change left to raise. Alhamdulillah. The question I want to ask you, of course don't answer it, this is for you to think about. The month of Ramadan is almost over. The question is, did you miss it? Did you miss out on it? Yes, you're here. You're alive. You're still breathing. But a person can be physically present for a thing, still miss out on it. I believe a couple of weeks ago, I've given an example. When I was young, when I was in high school, I had a friend. We were in the same grade. Very close friend. Pop. If I remember correctly, it was around the 11th grade. Maybe close to the 11th or middle of the 11th, or maybe it might have even been in the beginning of the 12th grade. He dropped out of high school. He dropped out of high school, like I said, I can't remember, the 11th grade or maybe the beginning of the 12th grade. And this is the type of person we hung out every day. And it was a while before I realized that he actually dropped out. Because we didn't have a lot of classes together in the 12th grade. If I remember correctly, maybe 1 or 2 or something, I don't know. I would see him in school. That's why it took a while for me to recognize that he dropped out. He was in school, in the lunchroom, or leaving from school. I would see him in the hallway. I don't know about now, but you know, a lot of our high schools in the urban areas are like prisons. They might not let you walk the halls. Back in the day, changing classes, changing periods, those few minutes was hangout time. So I would see him in the hall. So I would assume that he was in school. Then it dawned on me that, yes, he was physically present in the school building. But he wasn't going to any classes. So he didn't get the benefit of a high school diploma. Even though he was physically present in the school building every day. I don't know why he dropped out. I asked him. He wasn't done. He was sharp. Wasn't like he was struggling intellectually. He just got tired. He didn't give me an excuse. He just said, I didn't wait to study. I don't feel like it. Like, yo, but you here, you in school. And it wasn't until I thought about it, like I said, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, it may have been in the class, maybe in Jumu'ah, I don't remember. But he came to my graduation. He was there. I got a diploma, he did. We were physically in the same place. Day in and day out. Hung out together. We both were at graduation. I had a cap and gown, he didn't. He was on my guest list. Even though he was in school just like me. So yes, to answer the question, Ramadan is almost over. Did you miss it? Yes, you're alive. You're breathing. It's Ramadan still. I'm here, you're here, we're here, they're here, everyone's here. But you can see how you could be in something. You could have the opportunity to get the reward and the blessings of something. You're right around the blessing. You can touch it, you can taste it, you can see it, you can smell it, but still not get it. Ramadan is almost over. Did you miss it? We know you're here, but did you miss it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Did you miss it? You know, there was a man by the name of Afif. This is during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, during the Hajj, we're talking about in Mecca, in the early part of the revelation, even before the dawah became open, during the Hajj. We said, hold up, brother. Wait a minute. The Hajj didn't get established till way later in Medina. What are you talking about before the dawah became open during the Hajj? The Hajj was established by Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Ismail. It was purified. The Hajj was purified and codified by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From the time of Ibrahim and Ismail, every year they had Hajj. People would bring their idols and everything to Hajj. And this was also one of the yearly occasions where the Prophet ﷺ availed himself of the opportunity to invite people to Islam. Because many of the Arabs from around the Jaziratul Arab, the Arabian Peninsula, would be there. So he would go around to their camps and give them da'wah. He would invite them to Islam. During the early days, this man, Afif, he was a close friend of Al-Abbas. Who's Al-Abbas? Al-Abbas is one of the younger uncles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had 9 paternal uncles. We know about Hamza, we know about Abu Lahab, we know about Abu Talib. He had many uncles. Hamza, Al-Abbas, they were 2 of the younger uncles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this man, Afif, he was close with Al-Abbas. So they're at the Hajj, and while they're sitting there kicking it, the Prophet ﷺ comes out. According to some reports, this is at midnight. He comes out, he makes wudu, and he starts to pray. Right behind him, Ali ibn Abi Talib, young boy, Karramallahu wajhahu, may Allah ennoble his face. He comes out, he does the same thing. Afif is watching this. Remember, Islam is not open yet. Ali comes out, makes wudu, stands next to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and prays. Khadija, radiallahu ta'ala anha, she comes out, she makes wudu, she prays. We start making salat together. Nobody's making salat like this, just them 3. Afif asked Al-Abbas, what are these people, what are they doing? What's going on? Well, that's my nephew, Muhammad. He claims that Allah sent him as a prophet, a messenger. And that's my nephew, Ali, and that's his wife, Khadija. They believe in what he came with. They're his only followers right now. Afif, so, okay. Interesting. You know, Afif, he took Shahada after the Battle of Hunayn and Taif. If you know your Islamic seerah, you know that's approximately 20 years later. He reflected on the situation. He said, You know, if I would have believed then, if I would have took Shahada then, when I first found out about it, I would have been the fourth Muslim. I would have been the fourth Muslim. I missed it. He's Muslim, Sahaba. You don't have that rank like Ali, Khadija, Abu Bakr, Abu Ubayd ibn al-Jarrah, Uthman ibn Affan, Umar ibn al-Khattab, who he came 5 years later. But he don't have the rank of those people. All those people I just named, they're part of the 10 companions that promised paradise. He don't have their rank. If you know your Islam, you know that the early Muslims, the Muhajirun, have a rank, a darajah, above those who came later. As-Sabiqun. They're the pathfinders. They come first. Those who get in on the ground floor of an opportunity, they get the best reward. Some of us like to sit around and watch. I don't know about this thing. It is good to be circumspect, to weigh things out, but some people just procrastinate. And they have 10,001 reasons why they're not doing nothing. Other people, they know. Some people, they have an eye for business. They know it. You know what? No, let me get in right now. You come to get in next year, 5 years, 10 years later, they ain't going to make as much money as the one who got in at the beginning. Ramadan is almost over. Did you miss it? Were you like Afif? Are you like Afif, who had the opportunity to become the fourth Muslim? Third, if you don't include the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He could have been up there. Or will you be like Abdullah, al-Ghifari, who's way someplace else in the Arabian Peninsula? And he gets word that there's a man calling himself a prophet in Mecca. What's going on here? Sent his brother to go to Mecca to find out what's going on. This is someone that's thinking. This is someone that's aware. They're not in a state of ghafla, heedlessness. Wait a minute. Somebody claiming to be a prophet? Go find out what's going on. The brother of Abu Dhar goes to Mecca, listens around, see what the word is, comes back to his brother, and he didn't come with really no new information. Oh yeah, you know, the person is named Muhammad, Ibn Abdullah, you know, Ibn Abdul Muttalib, Ibn Hisham, you know, comes from the noble tribe from age, blah, blah, blah. You know, he claims that Allah sent him as a prophet, you know, people not really trying to feel him like that, whatever, such and so and so. Abdullah was like, why do you waste my time? You didn't I already knew that. You ain't telling me nothing. And so then he went there himself. And he found out. And he took Shahada. Early on, he wasn't even from Mecca. He came and got that blessing. So y'all playing, y'all in Mecca, y'all thinking in terms of this dunya, and y'all thinking about, you know, you thinking on a low level. I'm gonna come way from over here where the Jafar tribe is, and I'm gonna come get this blessing. Y'all can stay away if y'all want. Well, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa afdalu salat wa atamu taslim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wa radiyallahu ta'ala an asadat tabi'een وعلماء العاملين وأئمة الأربعة المجتهدين ومقلديهم إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we are almost at the end. 3.5, maybe 4.5 more days, and that's it. Eid is going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. I know some people have already announced when the Eid is going to be. You're not going to get into that. You already know what it is. May Allah bless everyone with a beautiful Eid. 3.5, 4 more days left. One of the things that harms us is ghafla. Ghafla is heedlessness. Meaning you're present, you're there, you're exposed just like everyone else is, but you're not paying attention. And there are levels of ghafla. Allah uses this word all of the time in the Quran. And there are a lot of people in ghafla. You would think with the news, social media, different types of social media, even human interaction, YouTube. You would think, for example, that people, this is a random example off the top of my head, you would think that they would know how to interact with police. And even knowing how to interact, that's still no guarantee. And then people get shocked and amazed when the interaction goes left. And many people, they only awaken out of their state of ghafla, heedlessness, when a situation directly affects them. Think about this now. Think about people who have died violently, right? Unjust. Whether it be, street killings, random killings in the hood, or state-sponsored murder. All of it is unjust. And when it happens, you're like, so what? But when it happens to you, your brother, your sister, your son, your uncle, your cousin, then it becomes an issue. We have to do something. And we have to get out and vote. We have to protest. We need to take back control of our streets. Why are you waking up now? Your family member wasn't the first one killed. Why does it take that for you to wake up? You're on social media every day. How many GoFundMes you see for a funeral cause? Why are you in a state of confusion? You die right now. Is there enough money for you to bury yourself? Is someone going to have to set up a GoFundMe for you? And it's funny, people be on social media taking pictures of make-believe cell phones made out of money. A stack of money, holding it like a cell phone. I'm doing it way big, taking pictures of money spread out on the bed. And then when they die, go fund me, help us raise money to bury Pookie. Get the money from that cell phone that he was on the social media with and bury him. Heedlessness. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every person will taste death. We know that. Are you prepared for it? See, we Muslims, we know it. It registers intellectually. And one day, it's going to be my turn to die. What have I prepared for? One day it's going to be your turn to die. What have you prepared for? There's a lot of things that we know about, that we're going to come in contact with, that we're going to experience. But just because you know this, that don't mean you're prepared for it. Ramadan is here now. How many of us prepared for it? How many of us have the type of employment or work schedules where we have a little flexibility, right? We can do this and we can do that. How many of us make preparations to change our work schedule so that we can break fast with the believers, so that we can pray Tarawih with the believers, so that we have time to read the Quran? You know Ramadan is coming. Guess what? Ramadan is the 9th month on the Islamic calendar. You know what? 9 is always 9. 9 is always after 8 is before 10. 9. If you live next year, guess what? 9 is going to be 9 and Ramadan is going to be the 9th month. Will you prepare next year? You know it's coming. Well, I don't know how to read the Quran. You know, I can just read the English translation. Okay. Learn how to read Arabic. Don't say it's hard. Allah said He made it easy. I know brothers personally that are illiterate in English. They cannot read English. They can barely recognize their own name when they see it in English. These brothers fluent in Arabic. I know the brothers that I got in my mind right now, they learned Arabic before they learned how to read English. And then because of their knowledge of the Arabic language, they went back and increased and made their English better. They can break down parts of speech in English after learning Arabic. Allah's not going to make a religion, a way of life, and then block certain people from accessing it. The Prophet ﷺ is Nabi al-Ummah, Nabi al-Ummi. He's the unlettered prophet. Most of the Arabs didn't know how to read and write when he came. But he produced the most literate society ever on the face of the earth. But yet, he's still Nabi al-Ummah, the unlettered prophet. You know, during the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, when the Prophet ﷺ told Ali to erase Rasulullah from the document, when Suhail ibn Amr, before he took Shahada, he was negotiating for the Quraysh. He said, we thought you was the messenger of Allah, we wouldn't be fighting you. Erase Rasulullah and put Ibn Abdullah. The Prophet ﷺ told Ali to erase it. Ali said, I can't erase it, Ya Rasulullah. I can't erase your title. I just can't do it. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ali, show me where it is. Nabi al-Ummi, the unlettered prophet. Ali put his finger on where it said Rasulullah, and the Prophet ﷺ scrubbed it out himself. Nabi al-Ummi, the unlettered prophet, produced the most literate society ever. Ramadan is almost over. Did you miss it? So you have the opportunity to do a lot of good. In conclusion, you're still here. It ain't over. You're still breathing. You're aware. You still have a chance to do some good. You're fasting, alhamdulillah. If you have some legitimate excuse for not fasting, you have ways where you can compensate for that. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. You don't know how to read Arabic yet, maybe you're reading English with a good intention. Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless all of that. The Prophet ﷺ was also very charitable during the month of Ramadan. Ibn Abbas, you heard me mention Abbas and his friend Afif, who missed the opportunity to become an early Muslim. Ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he narrates that the Prophet ﷺ was the most charitable of people all of the time. But when Jibril would visit him, because they would read the Quran, this is why we read the Quran during the month of Ramadan, because the Prophet ﷺ would read and have read the Quran to him and to Jibril. And because of this blessing, he would be even more charitable during the month of Ramadan. And so just like we read the Quran during the month of Ramadan, imitating the Prophet ﷺ, we should also be more charitable during the month of Ramadan. And if you listened to my class yesterday, I mentioned that this is one of the unspoken secrets of the preservation of Islam, that you keep the Quran circulating among you. That you keep the Quran, you have people among you who have memorized the Quran. And this is part of our endeavor here. Everybody can't go to Gambia. Everybody can't go to Pakistan. Everybody can't go to Kuwait. Everybody can't go to Egypt. Everybody can't go to Syria. And nor should you have to. Every community should have a hafiz there, teaching the Quran, leading the Salah. And this community is no exception to that. And so what I'm asking you all to do in this Jumu'ah Khutbah, what I'm asking you all to do, every one of you that's here, every one of you that's watching the live stream, what I want you to do is to donate and help us renovate a portion of our property for the living quarters for our hafiz that we'll be bringing here. And our contractor has not given us a huge price. This is a small price to help with a big reward. He gave us a price of $7,600 and some change, $7,600 and some change to renovate that. That's our major obstacle right there. After that, everything else is easy as far as getting them here. I'm not only asking you to donate, I'm asking you to personally pick up your phone, reach out to someone, and you ask them to donate. I don't care how much or how little. Everything counts. And I want you to think of the reward of everyone that, forget memorizing the whole Quran, that learns to recite Fatiha properly. That learns a new surah as a result of this. And you helped make that possible. You know what Allah says about you with regards to that? This is Surah Nisa, verse 85. مَنْ يَنْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً حَسَنَةً يَكُنْ لَهُ نَصِيبٌ مِنْهَا. Whoever helps or intercedes on a hasanah, a good deed, gets a part of the reward along with them. Yes. You helping in that, you get part of the reward. Look at this mansion that we're sitting in. Some of us didn't even live here. Some of us weren't even born yet. And we're getting the benefit of some of the brothers that formed this masjid. Some of them not even alive now. Some of them sitting right here in this room with you right now. They put in work. They put their little bit of money together. They helped clean it out. And we praying here. And they're getting a reward for this. And you know what? Guess what? If you die, if one of them die right now, like Imam Muhammad Aziz, rahimahullah, he died. You know everything that takes place here, he gets a part of reward for that right now in his grave. Right now, he dead. How do I know that? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Idha matal insanu amaluhu inqata illa min thalathatin." That when a person dies, all of his actions are cut off, except for three. Sadaqah jariyan, aw ilmin yutahu bi, aw waladin salihin yaqul lahu. When you die, you can't do nothing. So your actions are cut off, right? Except for three. A sadaqah jariyan, a charity that continues. Not someone that's come to you and say, "Oh, brother, I'm hungry. Can you give me some money for some food?" And you give him money for food. He eats the food. That act of good is over with. That's it. Collapse. the type of charity that goes on, it continues to do good. You establish a masjid. You help do what we're asking you to do. Help facilitate bringing our hafiz there. He's going to teach someone something. And they're going to teach someone something. And they're going to practice it. And at the beginning, you was there. You helped make that happen. And you get part of the reward for that, even in your grave. Beneficial knowledge. Beneficial knowledge. This is involving beneficial knowledge. You help and facilitate that. When you pass, that still gets added to your scale. We all have sins. Some of us may have to make a pit stop in the hellfire. A'udhu billah. I pray that none of us have to experience that. But it may be this one good deed that shifts that scale. It could be this sadaqah that you give that will put the scale where you don't have to experience the hellfire. You'll be in the grave, in the barzakh. And maybe Allah, through by means of the angel, will be like, hey, listen, let me show you something. That was your spot in the hellfire. This is where you could have been. But no, alhamdulillah, yours is Jannah. This is your spot in Jannah. And enjoy this until the day of judgment. You have a window open in the grave, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had informed us, and you can be entertained about where your place is about to be in Jannah. Whether some of you have been married for a minute, a lot of times you forget. You forget how you felt on the eve of your marriage. You knew you was getting married. You couldn't even sleep. You're like, I'm about to get married. And finishing the hadith, a righteous child that prays for you. A lot of us forget that part of producing and bringing righteous children into this world is having them interact with the Quran, having them learn the Quran and the etiquettes in it. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وتقبل منا